What if I told you that Filipinos are not just working abroad but actually controlling entire economies? You might not see it in the headlines, and most governments won't admit it, but the truth is, without Filipinos, some of the world's most powerful nations would collapse overnight. From the healthcare sector in the US to the luxury service industry in the UAE, from Japan's elderly care to Canada's business hubs, Filipinos are holding these countries together. And the craziest part? Most people don't even realize it. Stay tuned because today, we're exposing the nations where Filipinos are quietly running the economy, making them more powerful than anyone expected. 1. United States, the backbone of the healthcare system. The US may be a global superpower, but there's one thing it cannot survive without: Filipino healthcare workers. With over 355,000 Filipino nurses working in American hospitals, Filipinos make up 40% of the total foreign nursing workforce. But that's not all. Doctors, caregivers, and physical therapists from the Philippines are in high demand, filling the massive gaps in the US healthcare system. The pandemic proved just how essential Filipinos are. While many local healthcare workers quit due to burnout, Filipinos stood their ground, working overtime, sacrificing their own well-being, and literally keeping hospitals running. But their influence goes beyond hospitals. Filipino professionals are now entering leadership roles, becoming hospital directors, policymakers, and healthcare educators. They are shaping the future of American healthcare, deciding how patients are treated, how hospitals are run, and even influencing medical policies at the national level. Without Filipinos, the entire healthcare system would collapse, causing a national crisis. This is why the US continues to recruit, depend on, and even fight for more Filipino workers. 2. Canada, the silent rise of Filipino entrepreneurs. Canada is one of the most immigrant-friendly countries in the world, but there's one group of people who are quietly taking over the economy: Filipinos. Filipinos dominate the caregiving industry, the food sector, and even corporate jobs, but their real power comes from something else: entrepreneurship. In major cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Calgary, Filipino-owned businesses are booming. From restaurants to real estate, trucking companies to tech startups, Filipinos are making their mark. The secret? They support each other. Filipino communities in Canada don't just focus on finding jobs, they help each other build wealth. Many Filipinos who start as employees eventually become business owners, investors, and even political figures. Filipino business associations, networking events, and community support groups are empowering thousands of Filipinos to break free from employment and build their own legacies. This is a trend that Canada never expected, but now, they rely on Filipinos not just as workers, but as economic drivers. With Filipinos controlling key industries and owning more businesses than ever before, their influence in Canada will only keep growing. 3. United Arab Emirates, the luxury industry's secret weapon. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and the rest of the UAE are famous for their luxury hotels, world-class airlines, and high-end retail stores. But what most people don't know is that these industries are powered by Filipinos. Over 85% of the workforce in the luxury service sector is Filipino. They are the managers of 5-star hotels, lead customer service teams in high-end malls, and run some of the biggest airlines in the world, like Emirates and Etihad. Filipinos in the UAE are not just workers, they are the standard setters. Their attention to detail, work ethic, and ability to provide world-class customer service have made them the most sought-after employees in the industry. Many are now in top executive positions, influencing how business is done across the country. And here's the kicker, the UAE knows they cannot afford to lose Filipinos. Without them, the luxury service sector would collapse, affecting tourism, retail, and even the real estate market. Filipinos have quietly become the foundation of the UAE's success, and their role is only getting stronger. 4. Japan, the future of the workforce. Japan is facing a crisis that only Filipinos can fix, an aging population and a shrinking workforce. With millions of elderly citizens in need of care, Japan has turned to Filipino caregivers and nurses to fill the gap. But that's just the beginning. Filipinos are now entering tech, engineering, and factory work, industries that Japan has been struggling to sustain. The Japanese government has even created special visa programs to bring in more Filipinos, recognizing that their economy depends on Filipino workers. But here's what they don't tell you: Filipinos are adapting faster than expected. Many who start as caregivers learn the language, gain new skills, and eventually move up to better paying jobs. Some have even opened their own businesses, bringing Filipino influence into Japan's corporate world. Japan once saw Filipinos as just workers, but now, they are becoming an essential part of the country's economic future. 5. Australia, the takeover of skilled Filipino workers. Australia has always been selective about immigration, but there's one group they cannot say no to: Filipinos. With thousands of Filipino engineers, IT professionals, and healthcare workers migrating every year, Filipinos are filling Australia's biggest labor shortages. But here's where it gets interesting: Filipinos are not just taking jobs, they are creating industries. In the IT sector, Filipino professionals are developing software, managing cybersecurity, and leading tech startups. In the construction industry, Filipino engineers and project managers are handling multi-million-dollar projects. Even in education, Filipino teachers and professors are shaping the next generation of Australian students. Filipinos in Australia are quietly becoming economic powerhouses, building careers, businesses, and even political influence. As more Filipinos climb the corporate ladder, their role in Australia's economy will only grow stronger. Filipinos may not always be in the spotlight, but behind the scenes, they are shaping the economies of major nations. From healthcare in the US to luxury services in the UAE, from entrepreneurship in Canada to workforce transformation in Japan and Australia, Filipinos are quietly taking over. Countries may not want to admit it, but the truth is clear: without Filipinos, their economies would fall apart. What do you think? Which country do you believe depends the most on Filipinos? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more eye-opening content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.